If you've been looking for a distortion pedal with huge possibilities but a tiny footprint, then look no further. Presenting the TC Electronic MAGUS Pro. With the MAGUS Pro, we've set out to design a brand new circuit that brings together 3 high-gain distortion pedals and combines them into one tiny stomp box. Armed with a unique circuit design, 3 different modes, and enough gain on tap to blow your socks off, there's versatility to find a distortion tone to complement nearly any playing style. At the heart of MAGUS Pro, there's a specially designed analog circuit which faithfully recreates the classic slow slew rate of the infamous LM308 op-amp using readily available modern components. The result of this is a hard-hitting distortion, but with a sweet compression and smooth saturation. Let's take a closer look at each of the 3 modes on MAGUS Pro. Classic is the core setting on MAGUS Pro, and it's inspired by the legendary Rat pedal, but tweaked out the TC way and reworked for the modern day player. So in this mode, MAGUS Pro has that old school high gain flavour with punchy mids and a gripping bottom end. But we've kept the gain quite reasonable up to 12 o'clock, so you can easily find lower gain settings you enjoy that doesn't just hit you with a wall of distortion. So for example, here's my clean sound. If I kick on the MAGUS, and we have our MAGUS Pro set at a sort of a lower gain setting here. So I'll start around about 9 o'clock. We progress it up a little bit more. Still cleans up beautifully when you roll back your volume control on your guitar. And then if we take that all the way up to 12 o'clock, you're just starting to get into, your sort of rock territory. But when you push the gain control past 12 o'clock, you're going to get more of everything. You're going to get more compression, more sag, more saturation, and a darker top end. This is the magic of that LM308 slew rate we mentioned earlier. So as I push this past 12 o'clock, listen not only what happens to the saturation and the levels, but listen to what happens to the top end. Still cleans up beautifully. So if you flip the switch up into the fat mode, This gives the low end of MAGUS Pro a really big boost, and it also reshapes the upper mids. Low to mid gain settings in this mode are perfect for sort of high octane 80s rock tones, whilst higher gain settings can get really crazy. So if I just pop it on, we're in fat mode now. So I've got the gain south of 12 o'clock. So again, if we start around 9 o'clock, just stick a bit of Sky Surfer on with that as well. So with the gain pushed all the way up in fat mode, you even start to get into fuzz territory with heaps of sag. Perfect for some dark 70s hard rock and wonderful with single coils or vintage output humbuckers. Where we left off on the last guitar, use the same gain settings. And listen when we crank the gain. When we get to a certain point, the low end's really going to go crazy. So. Alright, so if I flip the switch of MAGUS Pro down into turbo mode, it's going to engage a pair of LED clipping diodes. The LEDs have a much higher forward voltage than in classic and fat mode, which results in more clarity, more bite and dynamics, less sag and compression, but way more output volume. So in high gain settings, you get yet another flavour of distortion, which feels very different under the fingers than classic and fat modes. Check it out. So we've got it in turbo mode. I have the gain, just past 12 o'clock. So on this one, so in lower gain settings, this turbo mode is really awesome for pushing a tube amp over the edge into a more saturated breakup, or just giving you that bit extra push and bite for your solo break. So I've now got the amp set with a sort of a drive setting, just nice and bit crispy. And when we kick in the MAGUS on turbo mode with a sort of a lower gain setting and filter dialed up to bring it the top end down a bit. So without. throughout all of these modes, one thing remains the same. The top end bite can be really prominent, although the pedal does get darker the more gain that you add. To help you find your sweet spot, MAGUS Pro has a first order low pass filter or a high cut filter in place of the traditional tone control. So rotating this knob clockwise will dump more and more highs, whereas anti-clockwise you'll notice the pedal is much brighter. This filter control is an extremely powerful tone shaper which will let you completely tailor the distortion to your liking. MAGUS Pro comes housed in this amazingly compact shell with rear-mounted jacks so it can squeeze onto even the most tightly packed of pedal boards with ease. This allows flush pedal board mounting with our other pedals in the range, so you can cram your pedal board with more effects than ever before. To ensure your tone remains true when the pedal is disengaged, MAGUS Pro comes fully loaded with true bypass switching, so you won't experience any signal loss when it's out of the loop. So, 3 high-gain distortion circuits in one compact pedal. Go check out MAGUS Pro at your nearest TC electronic dealer today.